What is up, podheads? Today we're going to talk about crossovers, specifically crossovers between a mid-range and a subwoofer. Why is that important? Why are crossovers important? They are very important because you want to make sure that the speaker is only playing the frequencies that it's designed to play. You don't want a subwoofer playing mid-range frequencies, and you don't want the mid-range playing subwoofer frequencies. Let's get into how to do it and why it's important right now. First thing we need to do is get our baseline measurements. So we need to get a baseline of the mid-range, baseline of the sub, and then a baseline of both of them playing together. So looking at the frequency response of the mid-range speaker, it looks pretty good. We want the mid-range to play as low as possible, but we want to filter out any of the frequencies below what the speaker can play. So when we're setting the high-pass crossover on this one, we want to turn the knob, turn the dial until it just barely moves. And that's going to keep the speaker from damaging itself and introducing unwanted distortion. Looking at the response for the subwoofer, this thing plays all the way up to 1,000 hertz. Why is that bad? It's bad because a sub is not designed to play these mid-range frequencies. What that means is that it's going to distort. It's going to sound distorted. These mid-range frequencies are better left up to the mid-range speaker. When setting the crossover for this one, we're going to match it to the mid-range speaker, and we're going to turn that low-pass filter all the way until those two frequency lines cross. So why is this important? So looking at the response of the two speakers playing together, what you see here is you see a huge summation between the sub and the mid-range. What this is doing is creating a really muddy sound, so we want to separate those two speakers. We want the mid-range to be playing what they're supposed to be playing, and we want the sub to play what it's supposed to play, so that way everything is nice and crispy. I'm adjusting the high-pass frequency on the mid just enough so that line just starts to move, so I know it's being affected. And adjusting the low-pass filter on the subwoofer, I'm turning it down until those lines cross, basically to make sure that the sub isn't playing any of the frequencies that the mid-range is playing. And then we'll play them both together and capture that data. So looking at the response of the mid-range before and the mid-range after we set the crossover, it really doesn't seem like it's that big of a change, which it isn't. But what's important to note is that we have blocked all the low frequencies from being sent to the mid-range speaker, and that keeps it from damage and makes sure that the amplifier isn't as working hard to do nothing, essentially. And then comparing the subwoofer before and the subwoofer after, what we're doing is blocking out all those high frequencies that it really shouldn't be playing anyway. This large peak here in the subwoofer response is 100% environment. This is the response of the subwoofer up close. And then comparing both of them before and after, while it does look like it's not as loud, it's going to be a much cleaner sound and much better listening experience for you and your car stereo. And isn't that what we all want? I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. I'm Brandon, CustomSpeakerPods.com. Peace.